Over the past couple years, Kendrick Perkins has firmly established himself as one of, if not the worst, NBA analysts. And one of his staples is the hot take. They're stupid, they're nonsensical, and they're rarely, if ever, correct. And as bad as hot takes are, what's even worse is Perkins pulling a 180 and completely changing his tune after being proven wrong. A prime example of this is Steph Curry before and after his 4th championship ring. Before he won it, Perkins said KD was better, Steph was a choker, he would never win a Finals MVP, and even said in Game 6 in Boston, he would not show up. Kendrick Perkins at that point, he was dead set against Steph Curry being one of the greatest players of all time. Now, after being proven wrong, Perkins laughably overcorrected, saying this.
Where does Steph Curry rank on the all-time list right now?
He ranks number 4.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Now, first things first, of course Steph is one of the best players of all time to any objective fan. But putting him top 4 at this point, I simply don't see as rational. As for most level-headed NBA fans, including myself, he's in that top 10, top 12 debate among Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, and the guys in the outer edge of that top 10. And when speaking about Mount Rushmore, of course, there's only 4 faces. Now, the Mount Rushmore Steph Curry is on is a Mount Rushmore of overall influence. Among guys like Jordan, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, possibly LeBron James, even Magic, all those guys I named are in the top tier of the most influential players. And when it comes to Steph, I personally think he's the most influential player when it comes to on-the-court play, as he himself quite literally changed basketball in the NBA, in college, middle school, high school, even elementary school. And looking just at the NBA, when Steph came into the league in 2010, teams that year took 18.1 threes per game. Now in 2022, they're taking 35.2, nearly double from when Steph entered the league. Like I said before, Steph Curry, he changed the NBA, and unlike many players, changed the overall sport of basketball and how it's played.
I ask you right now, you can start a season tomorrow. You want Kobe, 9-time all defense? Or do you want Curry in your backcourt? You take one or the other. Which one are you taking?
I'm taking Curry.
Over Kobe? Can't do that.
So looking at that screen right there, you have Mad Dog Russo versus Kendrick Perkins. I don't like either of those people, but in this case, Mad Dog Russo is 100% right. The Kobe versus Curry debate at this point should not be a debate. If Steph gets number 5, we can have that conversation, but at this point Kobe is still the better and greater basketball player. Being a 12-time all-defensive player, a 2-time scoring champ, having numerous 40-point, 50-point streaks, averaging 40 points for a month. No shade to Steph, but at this point Kobe still is a tier above him. As in Kobe's career, he has more 40-point games than Steph and LeBron combined. Looking at 50-point games, he has more than LeBron, KD, as well as Larry Bird combined. And in 60-point games, has more than LeBron, as well as MJ combined. And if you think Steph versus Kobe is a debate, let's look at the gap between these two players in overall resume. It's 1 championship, 1 Finals MVP, 7 All-NBA teams, and 9 All-Defensive teams. That resume right there on its own is on par with someone like Paul Pierce, a top 75 player in NBA history. The overall gap between Curry and Kobe is a Hall of Fame NBA legend.
Let me explain to you, okay? Forget all the accolades and forget how long his resume is. We know it's longer than the holiday weekend. Forget all that, okay? When I speak on being a generational talent, I'm talking about a 6'2" guard that has changed the game of basketball forever.
Now, that is one phrase Kendrick Perkins loves to throw out there. A generational talent. Let's get one thing straight. Any top 10, top 15, even top 25 NBA player all time is a generational talent by default. And looking at the top tier of NBA legends, guys like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, even Shaq and Hakeem, you could say those guys had an immense impact on basketball. Larry Bird was one of the first players ever to be 6'9" or taller and shoot threes at a very effective rate. And someone like Magic saved the NBA and revolutionized the point guard at 6'9". My overall point being, any top 10 player of all time, in some respect, changed the game, whether it be on the court or even off the court. And for the last time, any top tier NBA player is a generational talent. And I do find it pretty ironic Perkins is now saying throw accolades aside and totally disregard them. As once again before Steph's 4th championship, Perkins was one of the loudest voices saying Steph wasn't an all-time great player because he had no Finals MVP. That is one of Perkins' takes that he stood by for roughly 3.5 years.
Steph Curry, I would love to play with him. Why? Because he makes everyone around him better. Not with the pass, just the way he plays. Forget that he's the greatest shooter of all time. Forget that he's one of the most skilled players to ever play the game. Forget that he's the best screen setter as a small guy that ever played the game of basketball. Forget all that. I'm talking about when you put guys on the team with Steph Curry, he elevates their career and makes them better.
Now, Perkins right there in that clip, he was spot on and 100% right, as Steph Curry clearly makes his teammates better and elevates them to championship status. Look at someone like Andrew Wiggins for clear-cut proof of that. Now, although Perkins was right about those things, the one thing he's missing is that that exact same logic can be applied to Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard in NBA history. Looking at Magic, did he make teammates better? Yes, of course. Did players want to play with him? Obviously. And did he elevate his teammates to championship status? Clearly, another yes. That exact same logic for Steph Curry can be applied to Magic tenfold. And looking at both Steph and Magic, I think those two guys are the two best and greatest point guards in NBA history. Of course, Magic being number 1 and Steph being number 2. And maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, Steph Curry goes absolutely nuts and somehow passes Magic. But at this point, I'm not going to entertain those debates, as Magic still has more championships, more Finals MVPs, as well as MVPs in general. And the icing for the cake on that argument, looking at Magic's career, he made 9 Finals in 12 seasons. And when it comes to the Finals MVP, Magic in his first ever year won the award in 1980, something Steph Curry didn't do for over a decade. Now, looking past Magic, once again, Steph Curry is an all-time great player. At this point, he's borderline top 10. He definitely hasn't passed Kobe, Magic, Duncan, Kareem, LeBron, or Jordan. Those guys are solidified as better and greater than Steph Curry. But when he calls it quits, maybe, just maybe, he cracks that top 5.